Okay, it's 5 o'clock. We'll call this meeting of the City Council to order. I'm sitting in as pro tem as the mayor got called away to something else tonight. So let's start the meeting with Pledge Allegiance. Everybody stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just to let you know, we have our videographer tonight, for those watching this on TV, is Montgomery Halserud. Thank you for that. And could we have roll call?
Tyler.
Here.
Don.
Here.
Jody. Here. Harley.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Here.
Okay, could we have a motion to approve the agenda tonight?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call?
Tyler.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Jody. Yes. Harley.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Okay, and as I said, the mayor's gone, and so I don't have anything that came across his desk today. So could we have an update from the city administrator?
Yeah, I'd like to invite our recreation manager, Nick Deers, up just to kind of give a quick update on all the various rec programs you have going on this winter.
Okay, good evening. This time of year, things are really starting to take off. We got a lot going on. Our boys and girls basketball program is open for registration now. That begins in February and goes through March. And we also have our youth spring soccer, because that is right around the corner. And with the weather up today, it kind of reminds me of this coming up. And so that registration is also open. The snow sculpture contest is underway. Despite the rain, we're still going to be judging snow sculptures if they survive it. Registration is open for our new indoor pickleball league. So this will either be couples or it'll also be singles. We're going to see how the league goes and we'll go from there. And that's going to be starting February 1st. And this is a new league that we're going to get up and running. We have 2 more nights of men's basketball league. We went to an open gym format this year, which has really seemed to help out a lot. We normally have about 20 plus that come and play. And that seems to be doing quite well. Last year we had low attendance, so things are looking out from there. And we have 2 more nights of adult co-ed volleyball. So we're going into our championship, our tournament, and then into the championship the last night. That's been really good. We have 7 teams there, so that's nice. It's the same as last year. And the adult walking club is still going strong. Our walkers are going out every Tuesday and Thursday if weather permits. If not, they go to Baumgars and tool around out there. So that's when the numbers keep going up. It seems like if someone retires, I get them on our walking group. And then finally, Family Dodgeball Night is back. Our next one is January 23rd. This is really popular for families. A lot of people like it. Last week we had about 24 people show up, which is really nice. We're at the Obie Lane Gym, so there's not a ton of space in there, but it's big enough for people to come and have a good time. It's been a big hit. People really do enjoy that. So that's kind of what I got going on for right now at this point, this time.
Well, thanks for the update.
So busy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
On the Park and Rec theme, pleased to announce that city is now taking reservations for the Teats Park Shelter House. So the online rental portal opened today, where folks can still rent it by calling City Hall. So that is the rental rate for that is $150 for the day, and then a $200 deposit.
Okay.
And then another just reminder on city email addresses. Our city website's been updated to algonaiowa.gov, and our city email addresses have changed now too to @algonaiowa.gov. So our old addresses are still active and will continue to be active for the time being, but as we kind of get everyone updated, we want to just be reminding them of this to get anyone that might have our emails saved for a city to get those updated. So @algonaiowa.gov. That's all I have.
Okay. Before we go to citizens' opportunity, anybody on council have any comments need to make? There's not anything out on the agenda? Okay, otherwise we'll do the citizens' opportunity. Anybody here want to address the council on anything? Okay, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Includes minutes of the January 3rd work session, minutes from the January 3rd general council meeting, approve resolution for bills, and approve Class C alcohol license for the Top of Iowa Lucky Wife. I'm not sure what that is referring to.
That's for a license for Frostbite Olympics. They're
Oh,
going
I
to set
see.
up a trailer at the VFW in their
Okay.
lot there, and they're going to have wine slushies.
Oh, that'd be nice. And approve Class C alcohol license for the Axe House. Approve department reports. Approve minutes of various boards and commissions, and approve the administrator's report.
Motion to approve consent items.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll move on to new business. An ordinance amending city code for the municipal cemetery, the second reading on some changes.
This ordinance amends City Code Chapter 2.84 regarding municipal cemeteries. So there's kind of two sections to the proposed changes. One is amending the criteria for who's eligible for appointment. So under the new ordinance language, persons would be eligible if they are an employee of a funeral home that's located in Algona, or they're a person living within 5 miles of Algona. And then the second set of changes pertain to the cemetery superintendent's duties. So it clarifies that the cemetery superintendent or their designee is to perform all grave openings and closures, and then just updated some wording on reference to the superintendent, of just referring to the Madison superintendent instead of by a specific gender. We have not received any comments since the first reading.
Okay,
Make a motion then we waive the second reading?
Second.
and roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes. Motion to approve second reading?
Second.
Roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on to number 10, a resolution approving a general engineering service agreement with Bolton and Mink.
Since 2021, the city's entered into a general engineering agreement with Bolton Mink. I've just set forth the contract and rates for technical assistance, miscellaneous items we might have and need assistance on in terms of an engineer or a landscape architect. And then it's used as kind of the master contract for our additional contracts or capital projects. So as part of that, it's just billed on an as-needed basis, but we do have the first 20 hours of the month is billed at a discounted rate of $92 an hour. And then it's after that, for anything that's not covered by a capital contract, it's at the billing hours that are in the listed in the agreement. One change to that, they did remove one of the chief principals billing rates, so that was the top rate, so that one's removed, and they just got incorporated into kind of the general principal rates. So that was a little bit of a reduction there, and then the other adjustments were just your basic kind of year to year doing business. So recommend approving the resolution, and this would be for calendar year 2023.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, motion is second, roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
And 11 is resolution approving general engineering agreement with, or for street improvements.
So this will be task order number 1 to the general master agreement that was just approved. This would be for the 2023 street improvements or mill and overlay project. So it would includes the data collection, design and bid letting services for the identified mill and overlay projects. Pull it up on a map here, what we're looking at this year. One of the items of note is 2 blocks of Elm Street, just east diagonal. AMU has plans to replace and relocate the water main there. They've had a number of issues with breaks in there in years past, so we're kind of coordinating the mill and overlay of that project with that. So the engineering services are in this agreement, and we'll likely end up getting the engineering will go through the city. And then with AMU reimbursing us for their share, but when we go to actually let the projects, AMU's probably gonna just do that one on their own as get quotes, and then it will be part of our larger bid project. So anything to do with the water main, if it's done through our contract, AMU will reimburse us for their share. The other areas that we're looking at for mill and overlay, as we discussed, some of the previous council members, would be those 4 blocks of Elm Street, and kind of that intersection there at Diagonal, in Woodworth, 1 block of Durant just north of there. And then we're also looking at 2 blocks downtown of Thorrington and Harlan Street, as well as 2 blocks of Wooster Street. And then a few different just kind of spot repairs and some drainage and sidewalk improvements. And then this will also include the library parking lot design for that. That'll be kind of that on the west side along Phillip Street and that south parking lot. So again, similar like with AMU for the library, since they have their own capital funds, the design and the actual construction, those will get divvied out and paid by the library based on their extent of the project. But we decided to include it with the larger mill and overlay project, just to get some better unit pricing for those projects.
Okay.
So the design on this is already underway. We just kind of had to get the contract in place for this. So we're looking at going to bid on this here in early spring.
Okay, any questions? Motion?
Let's see here. Yeah, motion to approve the resolution with the street improvements.
Second.
Motion is second, roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Okay, 12 is a resolution approving amendment number 2 to professional service agreements for Central Park and South Park improvements.
Yes, gosh, back maybe 2 years ago now, we had originally signed a contract with Bolton Mink to look at design for Central Park, and you can see that original agreement amount was $38,500, and that was kind of some more conceptual planning, and we didn't, really have the splash pad in there yet or anything like that. So as this project kind of advanced, the level of service that required was increased as well. So last year we had approved amendment number 1 to that, and that included the additional planning for Central Park. Once we kind of decided that we're not going to just kind of dip our toe into this, we're going to do the larger project. So it added to that, and then just kind of for the sake of simplicity, we added the South Park design and construction administration in that as well. So what amendment number 2 would include in terms of additional charges or fees that already are in there would be for finish off Central Park design Again, that didn't have the full scope of both the skate park and the splash pad when that was originally done, kind of based off the changes that we've made with now doing additional sidewalk work. And then it also includes in there construction services for Central Park, so that'd be the construction administration after it's bid and they're actually on site. And then the $10,500 in South Park construction services. We're incorporating those into this contract just to, kind of for tracking purposes, but those are costs that the city's already incurred, and that we had directed them. At that time, we just told them to bill it under our larger agreement. As you recall, on that project, it was going well, and there's a subcontractor that had some issues with the court surfacing that required some additional attention, and just kind of with some of the concerns we had on that project at that point, we had asked them to dedicate some more time to it just to make sure that everything was closed out and done right. And that project turned out excellent, so very happy for that. But we kind of learned our lesson on, we tried to save a little bit of money of not having as much construction oversight on that. You just call Matt Cole, who did all our street project. He was just kind of going to, do that here and there as a check-in. But just, with that project and some of the change orders we had with adding landscaping, it just required kind of more on-site work and oversight. So those, was we had asked them to do those things. So we're just, they haven't billed us for that yet, and they're just wanted to insert in this contract and just kind of for both our accounting purposes. So the total fee amended under amendment number 2 would be $39,500, and that would be to, like I said, the South Park construction, that will close out that project, and then the final design, bid letting, and then construction oversight for Central Park. So all the design and construction admin services now included.
Okay, any questions?
So we'll still have the oversight for the skate park, because that's not completely finished. That was already in the 98 before, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there, it's a not to exceed fee, unless directed otherwise. So there'll still be some of that when they need to come back. But yeah, that was another item that we ended up having kind of more attention to. Just when you're making those capital improvements, we always want to save money at the same time. You want to make sure it's done right, and that your investment is going to last. And so yeah, that was another thing that we had services on.
Okay.
Do we have a motion on that?
Move to approve the resolution approving amendment number 2.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, roll call?
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
And we're hopefully looking at February, bringing final plans to council for review and approval to then go to bid at that second meeting in February. So we'll be sending out the updated or the latest version of those here shortly.
Okay. Let's move on to number 13, resolution acknowledging repayment of revolving loan fund, loaned by Emerald Shipper for Bear Beauty Studio.
Yes, that loan has been paid in full, and so this resolution acknowledges that and then directs the security agreement on said loan be released.
Congratulations to Emerald. A motion to approve the resolution acknowledging repayment.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call?
Tyler,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Harley,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Okay, and then number 14, resolution of assessment.
This was a part of the 2022 mill and overlay project. As you recall, there on William Street, we extended the sidewalk to fill in front of 2 houses that we had a sidewalk gap. One of the property owners has asked, rather than just pay that, to have it assessed to their property. So that's what this resolution does, would assess the cost share for that property for that project of $2,495 to their taxes, to be paid back to the city via their property taxes.
Like we have done with sidewalks in the past.
Yep, they can pay it, at the time, or if they wanna kind of set up a payment plan, they can do so through their taxes. So this is, their request to do so.
Okay, we have a motion on that.
Move to approve it.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
And number 15, approve pay application for the library renovation project.
This is pay application 18 from Hinkle Construction. This pay application is in the amount of $72,762.28. It is for materials stored and work completed through December 31st of 2022. All the materials are now on site, and weather pending, they should begin installing the metal and the translucent panels here later this week. That will take a couple weeks, and then the first week of February, the tentative schedule is for the electricians to come in, and they already got the roughing done, but start doing the final electrical connections and installing the backlighting and things like that. So project has continued well, and we haven't had the supply chain issues. It's just, we'll see how the weather plays with the contractors.
Okay,
Motion to approve payment application.
I'll second.
okay, motion and second, roll call?
Tyler?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Number 16 is appointment to the cemetery board.
We're kind of waiting on that cemetery thing, or
Oh, yeah.
revised, and we'll get to that. I think we have an idea.
Yeah, if we'd
Once we
like
pass,
to, look at appointing a member, that would qualify under the new criteria, we'll have the third reading at the next meeting. That ordinance won't officially go into effect until it's published, so we'll probably wait to do that appointment then until the second meeting in February.
Okay, let's move on to 17, appointment to the Broadband Telecommunication Commission.
We still need to find someone, because Jay Giving has decided to not renew, or not re-up, so
Okay,
I did visit with him, and he's currently on the AMU board, and I think he's starting to back away from some of that stuff anyway, so decided he would not. So we still need to look, or at least I don't have anybody to replace yet.
okay. Well, it's all be finding somebody for the next meeting. And that brings us to the end of our meeting here. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we'll move from here into our recessed work session. Give you a few minutes if people want to take a little break, and then move into the work session where we left off.